Om Namo Lohe Sarvatrikavarti Aryantanam. Om Namo Lohe Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Lohe Sarvatrikavarti Ayaryanam. Om Namo Lohe Sarvatrikavarti Uvajjayanam. Om Namo Lohe Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Chaiva Omkaraya Namo Namah. Namah Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsvabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimirandanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavantavarto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavantavarto Jinna samo sarana jayvantavarto netirthachara jagama jayvantavarto Dhruva achalane anupamagati pamela sarve siddhane vande kaho sutta kevali bhasita asamaya prabhrata are mo eka suddha sada arupi jnana darasanamay khare kahi anyate maru jari paramanu matra nathi are जम नेत्र तेमज ज्ञान नति कारक नति वेदक अरे जाने जकर मोदय निरजरा बंद तेमज मोक्षने ओम नमः सिद्धेभ्यो ओम नमः सिद्धेभ्यो ओम श्री सुधात्माने नमः जय जिनेन्द्र Today is a Wednesday 6th February 2019 and we are continuing our discussion on Samaysar stanza number 14. As we said, stanza number 14 is a 5 sub-parts are there. First, it says how the soul substance is separate from every other substances in the universe. Having said about the substance, now it comes to the modes. Modes are made two types. And we had a long discussion yesterday and last week and everything. Modes are two types. One is a Vyanjan Paryay, means the mode occurring due to the extension into space, Pradeshatva Gun. That's a Vyanjan Paryay, or it's called Dravya Paryay, it's called substance mode. And second is called Artha Paryay or attributive mode, means all the rest of the attribute except for extension into space attribute, everything else combined together is called Artha Paryay. So first one was soul is separate from all other substances of the universe. Then soul is not only the shape of the body. That's from the shape modification perspective. Then on the third one, what we saw that soul is not the modes of the attributes, attributive modes. And so now we are coming to the fourth point. First one example was given that there is a leaf of the lotus flower leaf. That leaf, even though staying in the water, does not get touched by water. So water and the leaf, they are two separate things. In the second thing, it said about first one was that the lotus. Second one, the shape modification. So all the four realms of the universe, transmigratory cycle, I could be of human shape or of animal shape or plant shape or hellish shape or heavenly shape. And I am not, soul is not that one from that extension into space at mode perspective. Then third one example was given about the ocean and the waves. Waves are innumerable waves are there, different sorts of waves are there, but so the ocean in the center is very, very quiet. Similarly, all the modes, so it could be knowledge mode, or it could be faith mode, or it could be conduct mode, or it could be bliss mode, or any mode of any attribute. They can have lots and lots of changes can occur, but soul is separate. So we saw those three important points. Now today we are going to see the fourth one. First one was from the substance perspective. Second and third one was the mode perspective. So naturally, now we know that substance, modes, what else is remaining? Attributes. So what about the attributes here? So it says the soul is not the divisional aspect of attribute. So that's what discussion will occur over here. So it just gives us overview that where we are in this stanza, how we are progressing. And so the fourth point we are coming. So let me bring the slides and then we can go for it thereafter, okay? Okay. Just give me 1 second. All right, so here we are. Let me just put the share screen, share screen, share screen. Okay, here. Point number 4 is called avishesh. A means none and vishesh means divisions. So common without any differences, without any divisions, and that's a point number 4. So first it will give example, then it will just lead to the principle. Again, from substance perspective, we saw it on the first point. From the shape modification perspective, we saw second point. From attributive modification, we saw the third point. And now we are seeing the common without any differences means in generally it is talking about the attributes which are infinite attribute, but soul is not in the divisional aspect of the attribute. If I'm going to keep my attention to knowledge attribute or faith attribute or perception attribute or conduct attribute, then Acharya Bhagwan says one will not get Samyak Darshan because they are the divisional attribute perspective you are looking at it. Soul is without any divisional aspect. So that's a fourth point. So first we are getting example and then we are going to know the principle. So let's see the example. What example they are going to give? Is they are giving example about the gold. Gold with its attributes. Gold has a substance, as infinite attribute in the form of having yellow color, has heaviness, has stickiness, etc., etc., etc. Infinite attributes are there. Why we are not talking about infinite attribute? Well, if we talk about infinite attribute, it will take infinite time. And I have a limited time. And Acharya Bhagwan says, Kunkun Acharya Dev says that if you know few things only in the attribute, your business will keep on going. If you are given two bowls with the white edible powders, and you have been told, tell me what are these powders. And so the white substances are there in two bowls, and you tasted them because they are edible in nature. So you tasted, and this is sweet. So you emphatically said this is sugar. Second one was having salty taste, and emphatically this is salt. Wait, that salt and sugar has infinite attribute. How did you know that? How did you know all the infinite attribute? Not necessarily. Only taste attribute. A sweet taste is a mode of the sugar, and salty taste is a mode of the salt, and that's why I made the decision. Similarly, here the gold also has infinite attribute. 3 or 4 for our purpose, they have been explained, and then we have to understand what it means. So gold has an infinite attribute like yellowness, heaviness, stickiness, etc., etc. So that's a gold. But gold is not yellow. Gold is not heavy. Gold is not sticky. Gold is collection of all the attributes combined together. Let's take an example of a mango. What happens in the mango? That mango, I decide that this is unripe mango. Mango as a substance, I said it's an unripe mango. Why? Number one, the color is green. Second thing, touch, it is hard to touch. It's a flat smell is there. And if I'm going to taste it, it will be sour in taste. And that's why it's a unripe mango. Mango is unripe. That's a whole substance I decided. And then there are attributes are there, and because of the attributes combined together, I said this is the unripe mango, and this is a ripe mango. Why? Because it's a gold color is there, soft to touch is there, sweet smell is coming, and when I'm tasting, there's a sweetness is there. So this mango is a ripe mango. Mango as a whole substance, it's a ripe mango. When I say ripe mango, means I included all those other attributes together. Similarly, also over here, the gold. Now, having said that, example, what does it say? Example, gold is a substance. Infinite attribute like yellow color, stickiness, heaviness, etc. are present in the gold. Looking from attributive perspective, the yellow, etc. are true attributes, means bhutarth. We are looking from the attributes perspective. Can the gold be green? No way. Green cannot be gold. Can your gold be white? No, it can't be white. Gold has to be yellow, period. That's it. Of course, when you go to the market, and you can also have a pink gold and white gold and all kind of thing, but they are the mixture of other substances. Pure gold, 24 karat gold, is only yellow in nature. So those kind of attributes, when I'm looking at it from the attributive perspective, those are right thing. Mango is a yellow color mango. So from yellow color perspective, a orange color perspective, it's a true things. It's a sweet smell coming from that mango. So smell perspective, it's true things. It's a sweetness, is a taste and soft to touch. All those attributes from attributive perspective, that's a right thing. But when I'm looking at the gold from the substance perspective, then the difference of attribute becomes secondary and therefore non-true or abhutarth. And now these words are coming from before, bhutarth and abhutarth, and now we understand much better what bhutarth means, what abhutarth means. Considering the mango also same way, that this mango is a ripe mango, period, that's it. I made the decision, this mango is a ripe mango, this mango is an unripe mango. Now, when I say unripe, then, or when I say ripe or unripe, rest of the attribute becomes secondary. They are not being thrown out, but they are made secondary. And I said, hey, you know what? I'm coming as a guest to your place, and I brought ripe mango for you. And right away, you know it. That, okay, the yellow color is there, softness is there, the sweet smell is there, and taste also will be sweet. And those are the attributes. But you made attributes secondary. It's a ripe mango. So when attributes are present and made secondary, so those attributes are called abhutar, non-true entity compared to the eternal soul substance perspective. Considering the gold perspective, considering the mango perspective. Now, when we just saw differences and indifference, what does it mean? Infinite attributes like knowledge, faith, conduct, etc. are present. Infinite attributes like knowledge, faith, conduct, bliss, eternal existence attribute, substancehood attribute, extension to space attribute, all kind of infinite attributes are present. Now, they are like 7 colors over here. When 7 colors, they are there, when the light is passing through prism, then all those 7 colors are perceived. But when they are before the prism, they are only white light. They are white light only. So indivisibility form in the undivided unique form. This is again type of indivisible form, undivided unique form. So on this side, when I look at it, that they are undivided. On this side, when I look, they are divided into different colors, but they are in unity. Same thing, the soul has an infinite attributes within, but they are in the indivisible form in the soul substance. So differences, yes, they are there. Uniqueness, yes, it's there. Considering the uniqueness, all these differences become secondary, and therefore they can be called as untrue. Their existence is not denied, but they are made secondary, thereby untrue. And this is very this sentence is very.
This is straight from the discussion of 7 and 8, right? Where isn't this? I think it was Gatha 7 and 8. No, sorry, 8 and 9, where Vivarne was introduced. So this is straight from there.
Stanza 7.
Sorry, 7 and 8. Yeah, or 7. Yeah.
Only 7. 6 and 7. 6 was from the modal perspective. 7 was from the attributive perspective. You know, this is Gatha 7. Yeah. So it just it is. See, right away, it just light goes in the mind. Wait a second, I have heard this one. That's a 7th stanza. It says Charitra Darshan Gnan. It means conduct, faith, and knowledge attributes. They are present, but when you consider eternal soul substance, then they are secondary in nature. So same thing here. It is coming, that point in a different perspective is coming. It just Acharya Bhagavan, Kunkuna Acharya Dev wants us to know that divisions are there, but they are to be made secondary. That's all it wants to say. So we just saw that differences are there and the non-differences are there. And when we are making the non-differences as a principal thing, then these guys become secondary in nature. Okay, so now from the prism, the white light passing, and it will show all 7 colors. The attributes are also infinite in numbers, but are in the indivisible form in the soul substance. In the sense, when we talked yesterday or last week also we said, or before we have said, that If you look at the bag of rice, then each individual rice is separate. One piece of rice over here is not represented in the other piece of rice over here because they are separate in a big bag. But attributes are not like that. Attributes are not like having rice in a bag. Attributes are together. And for that, when we give the example that in this room, there is one light, every corner of the room has that light represented. If I have 2 color light, 3 color light, million color lights, all those lights with the different color will represent in each and every minutest area of this room. Similarly, infinite attributes are spread through innumerable space point of the soul substance. So any soul substance is space point, you pick it up. Soul has an innumerable space point. Any space point you pick it up, and that will have representation of all the infinite attributes present. You cannot put the syringe and take the one attribute out. If sugar is there, sugar has a sweetness in every part of the sugar. So you can't put a syringe and take the sweetness out. If you take sweetness out, means sugar is not there. So attributes are also infinite in number, but are in indivisible form in a soul substance. Think about it. Innumerable space point, an infinite attribute, and they reside without any problem with each other. There is no overcrowding there. In spite of in each space point, infinite attributes are represented. Every attribute can perform its own thing by their own specific mode. When knowledge attributes are knowledge mode, then the whole soul has that knowledge mode represented. If the soul has the inclination of attachment, rag, or inclination of aversion, dvesh, rag and dvesh will be presented in a whole soul substance. Simple example, I am angry at one point. What happens? My head starts perspiring, my eyes becomes red, watery eyes are there, my nose also has a running nose kind of thing occurs, my speech becomes kind of shaky speech, my heart rate has gone up, my breathing has gone up, my hands and feet are perspiring. Means the anger is represented in every area of this physical body because every area of the physical body has a presence of soul substance. So when the anger is there, whole soul is angry. Rag is there, whole soul is with the rag. When knowledge is there, whole soul, so and so forth. So everything, all the attributes are present in the indivisible form in the soul substance. Soul and its infinite attributes are unique, indivisible form. They are unique, they are one only. For our understanding, we are making their division. That we are saying this is a knowledge attribute. Knowledge attribute can be represented with the five modes: matignan, sutagnan, avadignan, manaparagnan, kevalgnan, sensory knowledge, scriptural knowledge, clairvoyance knowledge, telepathy knowledge, omniscience. We make those divisions. The conduct attribute has a 28 subdivisions are there, or faith attribute can have a 2 separate divisions could be there, wrong faith or right faith, and so on and so forth. So we are making division for us to understand, to understand us. Acharya Bhagwan, he has experiencing of the soul substance in the indivisible form. when he's imparting knowledge to us, there's a language limitation, so he has to speak in the divisional form. Listener, I am the listener and I listen all those things in the divisional form because that's where I am used to listen. But then Acharya Bhagavan says, okay, you listen in the divisional form, but understanding has to be the indivisible form. So those are the way knowledge gets imparted all the way from Acharya Bhagavan to us by divisional way and to understand in the indivisible way. The differences are present in the attribute, and that's why they are the true state. If we make attribute as principal thing right now, I'm making attribute as a principal thing. So, soul has a knowledge attribute, soul has a conduct attribute, soul has a perception attribute, soul has a bliss attribute, like that. So, that's a true state because here I am making attribute as a principal thing. Divisions are known, divisions are also known as modal form. When we make the divisional form, means it's called Vishesh. Vishesh means not common, or not common means uniqueness. So when you are making divisional form, when you say knowledge attribute, perspective attribute, perception attribute, conduct attribute, bliss attribute. So when you are making divisions, those divisions are also called modal form, or they can also be called rag. Rag means inclination of attachment. When you are indivisible form, you are making division and talk about it, that is called rag. It's called divisional form of rag. So that is very important. So if I am talking or I am understanding everything in the divisional pattern in my mind, then it is a modal form, or it's called rag. And when the rag is there, I will not get experiencing of the soul substance. Considering from the indivisible soul substance, now we are making soul as a indivisible substance, as a primary thing. So considering from the indivisible soul substance, the differences in the attributes become insignificant, secondary, and thereby non-true state. Thereby they are called abhutarth. We have made them secondary. We have made them insignificant because there is a soul substance is primary thing there. A line drawn on a blackboard, that's a true form. But if I draw another big line in front of that line, this is now this line itself, which was okay before, now in front of the bigger line, this becomes it's called smaller line. Its importance is insignificant in compared to the bigger line. Similarly, in indivisible soul substance is made as a primary, then division of the attribute becomes secondary, insignificant, and thereby they are called abhuta. Why do I call non-true? And in the fourth bullet, I say it's a true form, because here the attributes are made primary, here they are made secondary. And when I'm making soul as a primary substance, then it's called substantial perspective, means it's an indivisibility is perceived, and so this thing can happen. So when we just say 7 colors of the prism, but when the light is white, then white light is more important. 7 colors are secondary at the time. That's what it tries to tell us over here. So now, what's the principle on point number 4? What kind of principle they want to, Acharya Bhagavan wants to convey to us? It says soul as a substance, in knowledge, faith, conduct, etc., infinite attribute present. Conventional point of view, If we are talking from conventional point of view, means soul as a substance and attributes are infinite in nature. And so when I'm taking conventional perspective, means I'm taking attribute in front of the soul, in front of the eternal soul. I'm talking about attribute, then those attributes become conventional point of view. Then this division that we are talking, they're the real. Then there's a bhutarth. But when I'm talking absolute point of view, who is most important over here? Eternal soul substance. When eternal soul substance is most important, means absolute point of view, then divisions are secondary and becomes non-true state. They become abhutar. And this is whole thing in a point number 4. It stops over here. It's done deal. That's it. But knowing Gurudev, he says, yeah, you understand that one, but now I'm not going to make your life that easy. I'm going to throw some more things inside so that way your horizon can improve. You have a bigger thinking capacity improve, the thinking capacity opens up. And so Gurudev Sri gives different things. Kunkuna Acharya Dev said only this one, Amrit Chandra Acharya said this one, but Gurudev Sri just goes inside and tries to take more thing out of it. Gurudev said, I know that from seventh stanza, you already know this one. From ninth stanza, you know what is bhutarth and abhutarth and everything. So now you have come up to the higher level. Your level has gone up. So I'm going to also ask you to, I'm going to take you deeper inside to see different things. So now Gurudev is trying to explain to us different thing. And in that one, he is bringing a reference to Pravachansa stanza number 172. 172 stanza is very important, and we'll see why it's very important. First, I'll read that stanza in Ardhamakti. Arasamarupagandhamavhyaktam chetana gunama sabdam Janyalinganagrahanam Jivamanirdarshta Sansthanam Chetana Gunagandharuparasa Vyaktina Jivane Valilinga Grahananathiyane Sanstana Bhakyunatehane. This stanza is extremely important, and Kunkunacharya Dev loved this stanza so much that he has almost verbatim, almost the same words, maybe a little bit in words here and there different, in all the 5 scriptures that he has written down. In a Samaysar, it's on 49 stanza. When we come to 49 stanza, it is an amazing amount of clarity is given there. Same thing is in 172 stanza in Pravachansa. Same thing, I think, is about 56 stanza or 49, I don't remember, in Niyamsar. In Astapahud also is there. Panchastika also is there. All the scriptures. Plus in Dhaula also. Dhaula is original scriptures written by Puspadant and Budbali Acharya, and there is also reference of this stanza is there. So it's very important stanza, and it's a very Kunkunacharya Dev and Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev, they both, at one point Gurudev Sri said that Kunkunacharya Dev is acting as if he is an omniscient Lord, and Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev is acting as if he is a Gandhar Bhagwan, the first disciple of the Lord, that kind of thing. So in 49 stanza of Samaysar, similar thing will be there in Pravachansa, Niyamsar, Panchastika, Astapahud. But each places, Amrit Chandra Acharya has given different perspective. Over here in Pravachansa 172 stanza, he has talked about Linga Grahan. Means Linga Grahan Nati means Alinga Grahan. He has made importance of that things over here. in Samaysar 49 stanza, Gurudev, Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev has given importance to Gandha, Roop, Rasa, Sabda, Vyakti, Sansthan, all those things he has given importance. So different scripture has different importance given. So our area of interest, Gurudev wants us to know about Pravachan stanza 172, which is called Alinga Grahan. Aling Grahan means what? Ling means a sign. Ling means a sign. Aling means not a sign. And Grahan means acceptance. Particular sign, you cannot accept eternal soul substance. Particular signs that it will not allow you to understand eternal soul substance. And Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev took 20 points out of that one word alone. And that shows how much was an amazing amount of depth of knowledge that Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev had it. So he brought 20 points. I'm just going to show those 20 points. We are not going to talk about that one in detail right now. When 49 stanza Samaysar comes, we'll talk a lot more. But what Gurudev wants us to know in this stanza, that point I'm going to bring it up. So let's quickly go through those points. Only the 18th point Gurudev wants us to reference. But before going to 18th point, at least we have to know what are those 20 points. So we just have to glance through it, and then we'll talk about 18th point, which is related to this stanza in this part. So, all knower soul substance cannot be known through external marks in the form of senses. Therefore, soul is embodiment of supersensuous knowledge, Atindriya Gnan Maiche. Again, you know, each point can have a huge discussion. We can have it, but as I said, we are just cursory passing through point. We are just going to talk about it, so at least we know that these are the references Gurudev has given to us in this stanza. Soul cannot be known through physical senses. One can make inference about presence of fire by looking at the smoke. Soul cannot be inferred in this with the help of physical senses. The fourth one, soul cannot be known by inferential knowledge only. Fifth one, soul cannot know by inferential knowledge. Sixth, soul cannot be known by any inferential mark.
Kirit uncle?
Yes.
Is this similar to those bowls that you were telling us about? Bowl?
There are 20 bowls about Alingrana Vis bowl.
Is that the same thing as this?
The same thing, exact same thing. Yes.
So I thought those are from, so these bowls are from Acharya Dev, or these bowls are from Kanji Swami?
No, it is from Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev took that one out from this stanza that Kunkuna Acharya Dev wrote.
Oh wow! So this is actually from Amrit. This is from Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev. Okay.
And that's what I mean, that he has amazing amount of kind of intellect that he can take all these things out. For example, in 142 stanza in Samaysar, when we come to that, stanza is 2 lines, but he has taken umpteen amounts of information from those 2 lines only, you know. So that's what it is, you know. So these are the Alingrahana Visbol. If just little sidetrack, that Gurudev Sri used to recite 175 points every day in the morning and evening, and that was his routine daily activity in the morning and evening. So he will recite 24 Bhagwan's names, the 24 names, 5 Balyati Tirthankar means of 5 lifelong celibate Tirthankar like Vasupujya, Malinath, Neminath, Parthnath, Mahaviswami. So 24 plus 5 like that. Then 6 Avyaktana Bol, which also Gurudev has referenced that one. So we'll be talking that one later on. 6 Avyaktana Bol. Then 10 points of a Srimad Ji. that Swadravyana Anya Dravyana Bhinna Bhinna Jo Swadravyana Rakshakha or something like that. So there are 10 points are there. Then 16 stanza of the first 16 stanza in Prakrit that he will recite, and about 20 Alingrahana Bol he will recite every day in morning, and then he will recite 47 powers of the soul and 47 partial point of view, which is part of the Pravachan Sar. That way 175 points he used to recite every day. And if you are interested, if you want to go for it, if you want to learn about it, and I have a Gujarati part, I have part of the I think I don't have complete English on everything, but almost everything is there, but not completely, So that's besides the point now. Okay, so if maybe later on I'll send it out to you, that one book in Gujarati. If you can read, it's good. If not, then somewhere along the line we'll take those points also, Anyway, so sixth one was soul cannot be known by any inferential mark, but can be known by its inherent nature only. So can inferential mark be important for me? No, because I will not know the soul. I will know only by inherent nature only. 7. Soul knowing can be dependent on alien objects. Soul's knowing cannot be dependent on alien objects. Just because this book is present, that's why I know this book. That's not true, because soul knows by itself. So soul has a capacity to know by itself. Soul's knowledge cannot be brought from outside. Soul's knowledge cannot be stolen. This 8 and 9 points, they are actually refuting other philosophies. That some philosophies believe that soul has no knowledge, and knowledge is something which is outside. So Amritchandracharya very tactfully, without mentioning which philosophy it is, but he's trying to refute those kind of things. Soul is with pure consciousness, with serenity. Then soul is unconnected with material karma. Soul does not have enjoyment from sensual pleasure. Soul does not pursue. Soul cannot be pursued through semen and menstruation. Soul has no relationship with sexual organ. Soul is not extending in the whole universe. Soul from material as well as from inclination purpose is not man, human, or hermaphrodite. Soul has absence of external sign of monks. Now the 18th point. There are 2 more points remaining, but now 18th point is the one that Gurudev is referencing in this stanza right now. So let's go slowly on that. Eternal soul, and it's self-explanatory, you will understand right away. Eternal soul does not does not mean that infinite attributes from the divisional. Soul cannot be perceived through the infinite attribute on divisional perspective. That's a crux of this fourth point we are talking. So infinite attribute, if I look from the divisional perspective, then I cannot perceive the soul. Soul knows them in their indivisible aspect. Eternal indivisible soul substance does not embrace to the divisional aspect of the infinite attribute residing within. So eternal soul says, I know divisions are there, but they are also indivisible in front of me. So that way soul is perceiving. Therefore, the eternal soul substance cannot be known through the divisional aspect of its infinite attribute. There is no division of the soul as substance and its infinite attribute. Gun gunino bhed nathi. So this is same thing that is said in a fourth point in this 14th stanza, which is already has been said as an 18th point in a Pravachan Sar in 172 stanza. So Gurudev is giving kind of a cross references to us that, by the time if we just finish 16 stanza, we will have pretty good idea about all the 5 scriptures, what Gurudev in fact wants us to know about it. So that's the 18th point. And this was the infinite attribute in divisional perspective. In 19th point, it's about a modal perspective in divisional form. That's what it will say. Eternal soul substance cannot be known through the specific mode, means paryay vishesh. Eternal indivisible soul substance does not touch the modes in their specific form. Eternal soul substance is not embraced in its modal state. So that's what in 19th point is modal state, it says. And 20th point, and that is very, very important, that somewhere along the line, Gurudev is going to give reference to that, not in this stanza, but other stanza it gives. Experiencing phase occurs in the mode. Eternal soul substance and its attributes are inert. So that's what it tries to say over here. So these are the 20 points that in a 20 point, 18th point is a one related to this fourth point we are talking, in which we are talking about division of the attributes, and soul cannot be perceived through the division of the attributes. So 18th pole over here, what he says, this is Gurudev says about it. अर्थाव बोध रूप गुण विशेष जैने आलंगित नथी एवो एक द्रव्य स्वभाव छे. This is that 18th point in English, Gujarati. The eternal soul substance does not have divisions of infinite attribute within. The eternal soul substance is with unity of all infinite attribute. So this can be 7th stanza also. This is 14th stanza, 4th point also. And this is the 18th point of the Alingrahan 20 bowls. So now it will open our horizons that Gurudev does not have to tell all this thing to us, but he has an immense amount of compassion and says, the student is over here, he's ready to learn. Now I'm going to throw all kind of possibility, so he knows everything from all different angles. It's not only the divisional aspect of attribute, and we don't have to stop there, but where else it's been referenced, so he gives that kind of information to us. So this is what it said. Now, after knowing this part, after giving this reference over here, he goes to the next one now. He goes to 6 imperceptibles. Cho Avyaktana Bol. Remember I said that Gurudev has 175 points, in which these are the 6 points also he used to talk from here. So third point in the 6 imperceptibility is the one which is referenced over here. So what is that point? Before we come to that one, let me just say, 6 types of imperceptibility. We can talk about those 6 points and then come back to this one. 6 types of imperceptibility. Perceptibility means mode. Perceptibility means mode. And imperceptibility means the eternal soul substance. What can I perceive? Grossly speaking, I'm angry right now. I'm human right now. I'm hungry right now. I have ego right now. I have a greed right now. So those are the things I perceive in the modal form. And that too, gross forms in the modal form I perceive. But eternal soul substance is sitting behind. He's the kind of, let's say in my home, in our home, we have the lights, we have the heater, we have air conditioning, we have TV, we have fan, we have the dishwasher, we have washing machine, we have all those things, different things. But who is the controller behind all those things? Electricity. If there is no electricity, everything will be dead. That way, perceptibility mode I perceive, but who is the guy behind who is pulling all the strings? And that's an eternal soul substance, but it's imperceptible right now for me. Both are getting known together, but imperceptible and eternal soul substance does not touch the perceptible mode. So these are, wait, this is 6 type came. What happened? From here, I'm sorry, sir. So we are starting this one now. छ દ્રવ્ય સ્વરૂપ લોક જે જ્ઞેય છે તે વ્યક્ત છે, એનાથી જીવ અન્ય છે, માટે અવ્યક્ત છે. Means universe is having 6 universal substances, and they are perceptible. The eternal soul substance is separate from them, and that's why it's imperceptible in nature. I can see the whole universe right now, but I can't see myself. Remember that the story, the 10 friends, they crossed the river, came on the other side, started counting, and they said, oh, there are 9 only. Other guy counted 9 only. Third guy, everybody counted, there are 9 only. And they started crying. They said, somebody got drowned in the river, but we don't know who. Because they knew everything. They are knowing all the external thing, but they are not perceiving themselves. So soul is not perceptible. Rest of the substances are perceptible. That's a point number 1 in the sixth imperceptibility point. Second one, કશાયનો સમૂહ જે ભાવક ભાવ વ્યક્ત છે તેનાથી જીવ બને છે માટે અવ્યક્ત છે. Remember, I'm going fast because these are not the point that we want to go in detail right now, because Gurudev has given third point that he says refer to the third point. But what's the third? So what's a 1 to 6? That's what we just have to have some kind of a overview right now. When the real thing comes, we'll be going in lots of details about that one. So fruition of material karma is known as bhavak bhav. This acting as an instrumental cause, there is generation of toxic emotions in the soul's mode. The fruition of material karma is perceptible. Soul is separate from it, so it's imperceptible. That's a point number 2. What Gurudev is referring to is a point number 3. And this is a very important point because it will just take a few of the slides thereafter, after we finish with this 6th point over here. ચિત્ત સામાન્યમાં ચૈતન્યને સર્વશક્તિઓ નિમગ્ન અંતર્ભૂત છે માટે અવ્યક્ત છે. Means, what it says, now, our crux of the problem we are discussing, that divisional aspect is secondary and indivisible soul substance is primary. This is our crux of the problem, crux of the discussion. So what is this third point say related to that? What it says, eternal true nature of the soul is known as chit samanya, means it's an indivisible nature with the all-knower soul substance. Now, in this soul substance, knowledge, perception, faith, bliss, eternal existence, substancehood, etc., all the attributes are included. In the soul substance, all those infinite attributes are included. Even the past and future modes which are not manifested are also included in it. Except for the present mode, all the past and future modes are innate state in the eternal soul substance. Therefore, all the modes except for past and present are imperceptible in the soul substance. So we are going to talk a little bit more in detail. Right now, let me finish all the 6 points and then we'll come back to this one, okay? And I know questions are occurring in the mind. Hold on to that, because we will be talking a lot more detail about this point number 3. That's what Gurudev has referenced to us in this stanza. 4th point, it says, kshanik vyakti matranti mate avyakta che, means the present expressed mode is transient in nature. It's get expressed, but the whole soul substance is not only one present mode. For example, the Siddha Bhagwan has an omniscience mode right now. In the omniscience mode, he knows past, present, future of all the universal substances. He also knows completely about the eternal soul substance, but it's one mode only. It's a one express mode only. And the whole soul substance sitting behind that express knowledge mode, coming from knowledge attribute, and knowledge attribute types of infinite attributes are together called a soul substance. So soul substance is way far more important. That's what it says in point number 4. Point number 5, let's see, I'll just bypass this one. व्यक्त व्यक्त बेला मिश्रित रूपे प्रतिभा स्वच्छता पण व्यक्त परसों માટે અવ્યક્ત છે. You know, I'll pass this point right now because it's a detailed point and we can get unnecessary drag down in that. So let's not talk too much about it. And 6 point is also the same way, is very detailed. Then thereafter we are going to talk later on those things. So now we are talking okay, in Vignan Advaitvad, now in means Vedant, it says the soul is always forever in the non-duality state. Soul is always non-duality, means it is single soul in the whole universe. No duality, no modes, no attribute, only soul as a substance we believe, period. Eternal, that soul substance is eternal. That soul substance is spread through the whole universe. And that soul substance, no duality, means there is no action occurs. This soul substance is inert in nature. That's what Vedanta believes. That means there is no presence of anything except the eternal true nature of the self, and thereby soul is in non-duality state. Advait, Advait and Dvait. You may hear these words also from the Vedanta philosophy. Advait means non-duality. Dvait means duality. Duality means there is a quote unquote God over here, and I'm here. So I am just worshipping the God. I don't want to become God. I am the worshipper. So I'm here, and that so-called entity Lord over here. So this duality state is there. So some people believe in that duality, and that is called bhakti marg, means they just worship. That's it. They just say, I don't want to become like you. I want just to worship you. So that's a duality state. Over here it says non-duality, means there is one soul in the universe, nothing else is there. So if you look at the Gita, when the Krishna has given discourses to Arjun during the Mahabharata war, and the Gita is the one which is the essence of that discussion between Arjun and Krishna. In that one, the soul is considered as eternal non-duality state. So the student of Vedanta, and when you discuss with them about Samaysar, when you talk about eternal soul substance, and they say, yeah, we also believe in eternal soul substance. We just say soul is inert and does not do anything. Yes, we also believe the same way the soul is inert and does not do anything. Soul has no division. That's what we just said. Because in the indivisible state, we also believe the same way. So what's the difference between you and us? There's no difference. So Gita and the Samaysar is same. No. Why no? Because we have said that soul has an infinite attribute, but they are made secondary. That's why they are non-existent. That's why they are non-true state. Soul has an infinite modes, but they are made secondary. That's why soul is inert. That's what we just say. But modes existence is not denied in Jainism. Attributes existence is not denied in Jainism. While in Vedanta, they have denied those situations. So that's a major difference is occurring. Yeah, soul is an eternal soul. They will just, whatever it's been said, whatever Samaysar said, they look exactly same, because eternal soul is described in the eternal soul way. But the attributes and modes are also there. that is not considered there. So there's a vast difference. You will come across, now that you are the student of Samaysar, and it will happen that somewhere on the line, you will have discussion with somebody else. And when this occurs, you have to be aware in your mind, where is the differences? There is a similarity and where is the differences? So those are the things that, Gurudev has not said that way, Amritchandracharya has not said that way, Kunkunacharya Dev has not said that way, but indirectly they have said, be aware who you are and what's your philosophy and where you are. So these are the things we have to note also. When Jain said non-duality nature of the eternal soul substance, in Vijnan Advaitvad, Vedanta says that soul is forever and non-duality. Jain also says non-duality nature of the eternal soul substance. Then non-Jains say, ultimately Jains have to believe non-duality state and thereby they are the same as us. But in Jainism, when one brings the attention to the mode, attention of the mode to the eternal nature of the self, then experiencing of the eternal self occurs. Experiencing occurs in the modal state. Modal state is present. Modal state's existence is not denied, but considering eternal soul substance, modal state is considered secondary in nature. In this state, there is experiencing of the eternal self and everything else becomes secondary. Modal state as well as alien objects of the universe, even though they are present, considered as secondary and thereby non-existent. Non-existence by making them secondary. Non-existence means they never are present, nothing like that. They are made secondary. The actual presence is not denied, but simply made secondary and thereby considered as not present. In Vedanta, they don't consider them at all. Here we consider them. That's why in a Tuesday class, we are talking modal aspect and we go in extreme detail because modal action, a modal state is a one in which soul's activity are perceived. In Vijnan Advaitvad and in Vedanta, only eternal self is present and rest are absent. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. Eternal soul is only true entity and everything else that has been perceived is wrong. It's non-existence. It's your own illusion. That's what it says. The computer screen I see is an illusion. The camera I see is illusion. The room I see illusion. Everything that I see is illusion. That's what they believe. Thereby, everything else is absent, and even the experiencing of the mode is also absent. That's what they say. That's where the major differences of Jainism and Vedanta and Advaita is occurring. In this way, there will be nothing to be present in the universe which is never a true state. You mean Pudgal means matter substance is not present? They believe that they are not present. It's all illusion that you are just imagining that one. When Jainism says, yes, matter substance is present, medium of motion is present, medium of rest is present, space and time are present. All 6 substances are present. Anyway, so now coming to that point here, which point was it here? Okay. Yeah. So point number 3. Point number 3 says imperceptibility, in the sense it says in the eternal soul substance, all the attributes are present in divisional aspect, but they are in the indivisible form. And that is our crux of the discussion in this 14th stanza, that attributes are in the indivisible form. Infinite attributes are in the indivisible form. But Now Gurudev goes one step ahead and he says, modes, all the past modes and future modes, they all are also in the indivisible state in the soul substance. If we take the soul substance as a complete whole thing, what are the things in the soul substance? The soul substance is an indivisible form. Infinite attributes are in the indivisible form. All the past modes are in the indivisible form. All the future modes are in the indivisible form. Only the present mode, expressed present mode, is the perceived one. Everything else is imperceivable. Eternal, indivisible, eternal attributes are imperceptible. Past modes are imperceptible. Future modes are imperceptible. Only present mode is perceptible in nature. That's what this third point is telling us. So third point, and this 14th stanza and third point, what's the relationship? In 14th stanza it says attributes are in the indivisible form, but here it says past and future modes are also in the indivisible form in the inherent state. And we will know what that inherent state is. Inherent state is parinamic bhav, eternal soul substance in the indivisible form. That's what it is. So now we are going to go to this parinamic bhav. That's what Gurudev wants us to know about it. So here we are bringing that. Okay, so when he talks parinamic bhav means inclinations. How many inclinations soul can have it? So again, new chapter opens up. It's just not simply what Gurudev used to say, that somebody came to him and says, yes, Gurudev, I read this Samaysar in 1 week. I just completely read that one. He says, no, that's not good. That's not good in the sense you have not touched the surface of the Samaysar at all. Because each and every sentence you go through has an amazing amount of information inside, and you have to know all those things completely. Then and then it's called that you are reading something. You have to read and understand the deep meaning hidden behind. What does Acharya Bhagwan wants to convey to us? We have to have that kind of a really understanding in our mind. Then it's called real reading. Otherwise, it's just simply you read it out. Just like the cassette just talks, cassette speaks, same way you read and that's the end of it. That's not true. So it says now over here, Gurudev wants us to know what 5 extraordinary states of the soul, which I think we already have done in the past somewhere along the line. I don't know which stanza we did, but we have done it. But again, it will be revision also. So 5 extraordinary state of the soul from modal perspective. What is modal perspective occurs? State due to fruition of karma called Audayik Bhav. Means I have a fruition of karma, and because of that thing, I have certain inclination occurs within me. I have a rag, I have a dvesh, I have a anger, I have deceit, I have ego, I have a greedy nature, greedy situation, anger, deceit, ego, greed, likes, dislike, those kind of situation, I have it, and that is related to the fruition of a karma, and that's why it's called Audayik Bhav. Means it's my inclination, but it is associated with the fruition of karma, so it's Audayik Bhav. Thereafter, state of the soul, mode of the soul due to suppression of karma means Aupshamik Bhav. Means karma is the deluding karma are suppressed on this side, and the Samyak Darshan mode arises over here. So that's called Aupshamik Bhav. That lasts very transiently. Then third one, state due to suppression come annihilation of karma, Kshopshamik Bhav. Some karmas are suppressed, some karmas are in the form of elimination, some karma are right now exerting their influence, and those things are called Kshayopshamik Bhav. For example, I have a sharp knowledge of certain things, and I have no knowledge about something else. I go to the kitchen, I have no idea how the food gets prepared. When I go to the car mechanic, I have no idea how he makes the car work right away. When I go in my own business, then I know exactly how to fix up something. So my intellect is high somewhere, somewhere is low, somewhere is nil. And so all those things are called, it's called Kshayopshamik Bhav. Then last one is called state due to complete annihilation of karma. It's called Kshayik Bhav, means there is no deluding karma at all, and now pure conduct is present in the soul, and that is called Kshayik Bhav. So these are the modal perspective. These are the 5 extraordinary states of the soul, of course, out of which we discussed 4, which are modal perspective. The most important we are talking right now is from substance perspective, and that's called soul's innate inherent state, or it's called parinamic bhav. Means soul as a substance has innate state which is non-reacting, which has no relationship to any modal aspect at all. It's just simply there. I am, I am, I am, I am. I'm existing before, I'm existing now, I will exist in the future. I am there forever. And that is because of substance soul's perspective, and that is called innate state, and that innate state is called parinamic bhav. So what is this parinamic bhav? What is this innate inherent state? That's what Gurudev wants us to understand in reference to the 14th stanza. Any question on this one? Because we have gone through this one, so I don't want to consume too much time here, and then real crux of the discussion that
this is not an important question, but just from my curiosity,
yeah.
Is would you call parinamic bhav satbut anupcharit vyavarne or satbut upcharit vyavarne?
Nay, nothing, no nay at all, because it's an innate state. Innate state. Now, there is no mode here. Remember, this is the modal aspect. All the partial point of view comes in the modal aspect because there is something to compare with. This is the innate state. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, forever. That's it. So it's
fine. Fine. So then, if you look on the left side, if you look at Kshayopshamik Bhav and Upshamik Bhav.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say this Kshayik Bhav. Let's take Kshayik Bhav.
Yes.
Would you call, because that's the most pure of these 4. If you took Kshayik Bhav,
yes,
as compared to Parinamic Bhav, okay, would you call it Satput Anupcharit Vyavarne?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay.
Because yeah.
And then Odaig on the other extreme, Odaig Bhav would be Asatput Asatput Upcharit Vyavarne. Correct?
Now remember, each bhav over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, each bhav, compared to what I'm talking, compared to what?
I'm comparing it to Parinamic Bhav.
Yeah. Then it will be Asadbhut, yes. Upcharit Asadbhut over here. Yes, you are right. Compared to Parinamic Bhav, that will be Upcharit Asadbhut. You are right, yes. So that one is important. That see now discrimination comes in the mind, looking at the picture and say, wait, compared to Parinamic Bhav, yes, like this. But Parinamic Bhav is a substance. It's an innate state, innate, inherent, eternal state. There is one more little word I forgot to put. Innate, inherent, eternal state. It's not transient. All these guys, 4 guys, are transiency in nature. This is the eternal.
So then parinamic bhav is not, you cannot even call that Shuddha Nischay. It's beyond Nay, correct?
Beyond that. Yes. Yes, you are right. Yeah. So now, but Gurudev wants to put a little bit more weight on this parinamic bhav because he wants to remember what he said to start with in the beginning of the class. What did we say? Divisional of attributes is not eternal soul substance. Indivisibility of the attribute, that will be considered as a soul substance, but divisional part, not the soul substance. So soul substance is an innate, inherent, eternal state, and if the attributes are considered in the indivisible state, then that also becomes parinamic bhav. So parinamic bhav does not restrict only up to soul substance. It also includes eternal, it also includes infinite attributes in the indivisible pattern. Not only that, certain modes are also considered. And what are those modes? That's what point we are coming right now. So inherent state means parinamic bhav means attributes are infinite in numbers, knowledge, faith, conduct, bliss, but they are in the form of unity. Unity of the soul substance means just like seven stanza we talked about. So all these attribute, infinite attribute in the unity. Then it says, I'm also considering past and future modes are also in the inherent state. This is kind of new thing for us to understand right now. How come past and future modes are in the inherent state? I understand the eternal soul substance is inherent. I understand that attribute in the indivisible form, they are in the inherent state. How about modes? Now, do I have the slides here? Yes, okay, yeah, it's coming. So, what happens? We have talked this one in 13th stanza, that a express mode, present expressed mode. Let's presume that we are sitting and we all have Samyak Darshan right now. So that expressed present mode is Samyak Darshan mode. Let's say that somebody is angry right now. So his expressed present mode is an anger state. State means mode. Let's say somebody is greedy. So his expressed present mode is greedy state. So anger, deceit, ego, greed, rag, dvesh, all those things are expressed mode. That's a present expressed mode. Now, when there's hang on tight now what we are saying, a present expressed mode can have 5 different things, and that's why it will be seen. And most important thing will be presence of nimit. A nimit is present and express mode is perceived. This is the express mode right now. But when the nimit comes, then means instrumental cause comes, then this express mode is perceived. Express mode to perceive, there is presence of instrumental cause is present. When instrumental cause is present, then the mode gets expressed in nature. When instrumental cause is not there, this mode is not getting expressed, and then it will go back into the substance. For example, the gold is a substance. I made ring out of it. So the ring is a mode of the gold right now. I didn't like the ring, so I broke it down, and so it became that mode went into the gold substance. Then the necklace mode came out. And I didn't like necklace, so it was broken down. Gold went into the gold substance again. So that mode went into the gold again. Then I made a bracelet out of it. There's a third mode occurred. Similarly, I have anger, deceit, ego, greed. They are getting expressed. Once that expressed mode job is done, then instrumental cause is gone, and that mode goes back to the soul substance. So my express mode right now needs to have instrumental cause. So that water in the pond, I think that's a picture is coming there. Okay, here. So water in the pond, this water sitting in the pond right now, before all this thing, water coming up, it is present, and that water has a infinite modes present, and one at a time those modes are coming out. And this water, this particular water over here, when that water comes out, it's a water only, but it's an express mode, and at the time this presence of light makes this red color. Now that light goes out and water goes back into the pond, and then there is no instrumental cause, and that water goes back into the pond by its inherent nature. It just, that water goes back into the pond with the stamp of redness of eligibility of present time. That stamp, it has it, and it just goes back into the pond. That stamp is there, but it's not an express thing. It's simply water, but it remains in an inherent state in the water. That mode remains in inherent state because it's on express mode.
Kirit uncle, do you know, you're mentioning the 5 samvais.
Yes.
Where, is this really, are the 5 samvais real, or are they just for our understanding? I guess my question is this in Shastra? Can you find this concept in Jinvani? I don't mean Vivechans, I don't mean Tikas, I mean Jinvani.
They are there, Jinvani there. The closest I can tell you is Moksmak Prakashak has it in the 9th chapter.
No, that's true. But I know that. What I mean is, is it in one of the 5 agams, or is it in Davla, or is it in Jay Davla, or Shatkand agam, or something like that?
I'll find it out. But they are there. But exactly where, I can't tell you right now, except for the Moksmak Prakashak only. But that will be my homework for next week, that I'll let you know. So, having said that, the express mode is a present mode. That's all we have to know it. And when that mode goes back into the substance, then it's called nirpeksh, means it's not sapeksh, means it's not relative. It's a non-relativistic mode. It's a nirpeksh paryay. The present mode is called sapeksh paryay. Present mode is called relativistic mode because it is associated with presence of nimit. So nimit is that's why it's called it's a relativistic. The relativistic relationship is there. That's why you see red, green, purple color water. But then when that water goes back into the pond, that water goes back with the stamp of eligibility, and that's it. It's a non-relativistic. And so anything which is non-relativistic is called parinamic bhav. Anything which is non-relativistic is called parinamic bhav. So soul substance is non-relativistic with does not react with anybody else. Attributes, they do not react with anybody else. Past modes in the soul, they don't have any presence of nimit, means non-relativistic. That's why they are called parinamic bhav. Future modes, they are not expressed yet, So there is no presence of instrumental cause. That's why they are non-relativistic future modes, and so they are called parinamic bhav. So who is called parinamic bhav in a substance? Eternal soul substance in the infinite attributes in the indivisible pattern, past infinite modes in the indivisible non-relativistic pattern, future modes infinite future non-relativistic modes. They are all called parinamic bhav or innate nature, inherent innate nature. Only the express mode is a relativistic, and so that's only the one is relativistic where the action is seen. So now what Gurudev says, when I'm talking to you inherent state, it's not, don't take only attributes in your perspective. Fourth point wants to stress on the attribute perspective, but there is also modes are also in the same way. So he says, don't ignore those modes. That's what he's trying to tell us right now. By throwing one paragraph, Gurudev trying to tell us that eternal soul has an indivisibility of all the attributes. That's true, but past modes and future modes are also in the same form. So don't ignore them. That's what he's trying to tell us. Does that make sense? So let's see where we are next now. 7:30 already. Oh my gosh. So I think we will stop over here and we'll just start. We will start from this slide 5 some why, because and I had to find the reference also. So I'll start with this one next week. Any questions so far? Remember, there is lots of information Gurudev is putting on us because he realizes that now you are ready to accept all these things. So he is putting extra thing. 3 or 4 slides within 10 minutes, point was cleared that infinite attribute in the indivisibility. That's the nature of the soul. In divisional attribute, if you just consider a divisional attribute, then you will not get Samyak Darshan. That's all the 2 sentences wanted to say in the 4th point. But Gurudev also wanted to make sure with his compassionate nature that let's talk other references also, and that way our horizon keeps on becoming larger and larger. Questions? Any questions? Okay. Then no question. If no question, then we'll just do the closing. Okay. Aho upakara jinvarano kundano dhvani devyano jina kunda dhvani apya aho te guru kanano aho bhagavati matano javani ke gyan se suje lokalo sovani mastaka namo sada deta hundo. 9 times Namaka mantra. Jai Jinendra. Michai Dukram. Thank you.